I think we have a good chance of making the playoffs.
Do you?
I do. I do think so. I think that
You
we
think you
have
guys are
a
going to get one of them
championship.
8 spots? Okay.
Hello and welcome back to NWSL United, here with our 5th episode and our second deep dive. If you have not done so, go back and watch last week's deep dive where we got into it with Boston and we talked all about, how to park your car and all that stuff. So I didn't boo Boston and neither did Alyssa at all. We restrained ourselves. It was a great conversation with the Swan Dive podcast. We learned so much about that club. And we're back today to talk everything Denver Summit, which is our other new expansion team. And we managed to find another podcasters to join us. So welcome to the podcast, Kate, from the Pitch 5280 pod. Did I say that right?
5280 pitch. So that is
5280,
how
that's
high
what we
we
say.
are
Okay.
above sea level is 5,280 feet. So 1 mile high.
I love it. What a cool name for the podcast. And you have like a YouTube channel and you just obviously started that with the club. So that's always cool to be part of that. Tell us, how's that going?
Yeah, I just started it. I come from radio, so I started by, covering men's sports teams. So it's really cool to have some women's soccer to talk about. And I absolutely love being able to talk about a new team here in Denver, and we're all really excited to have a female soccer team. And yes, we have the podcast, we got a YouTube channel, got a website, we got merch. So it's been a lot of fun.
You've done a lot in a year. Alyssa,
Not even, but yeah, since the beginning of the year. Yeah.
It's not even a year. It all happens so fast. Alyssa and I are excited for Denver. We've talked about it, haven't we, Alyssa? And you guys, we're excited to talk to you about this conversation.
I feel like I've heard most about Denver. Sorry, Boston.
Yeah? Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like maybe it's
I
because I'm
feel
not
like
in San
Lindsay Heaps
Diego.
kind of stole the show. Like when you get a Lindsay Heaps signing for an expansion team, like,
And your attendance already is like breaking.
we sold out our season ticket, membership. So it's been insane. We're probably going to break the record with over, 40,000 tickets sold for a women's, soccer match. So it's pretty exciting. We're excited here in Denver for our women's sports team.
My first controversial question of the day before we
Uh-oh.
get started. Do you think Denver has a better name than Boston?
Well, I mean, I think so because, mountains, summit, like there was a couple other names that were thrown out there. There was the Denver Peak, Colorado 14ers, Denver Summit, Denver Elevate. There's a couple more. I think like Denver Gold was another one, but they all had to do with Colorado. They were very, very Colorado names. I don't know what other names Boston was really throwing around. Legacy sounds, I guess, kind of Boston-y. I mean, other than like the Boston Tea Party, I don't know what else they could have really gone
What else
with.
are you famous for, Boston? Dunkin' Donuts. They could have been the Boston Dunkins. That could have been cool.
They could have
Just sell it out.
Sure.
Yeah. I
could have
really
been
like the name
Boss
Denver
Nation.
Summit. I think of all those suggestions that were there. I thought maybe Denver Gold, there was something there, but I think Denver Summit was a great name. To take us back a little bit, how did this first start? When did you first hear about the idea of a women's, NWSL club in Denver before it even had a name?
It's actually pretty surprising that it's taken us so long to get our own NWSL team, because I feel like there is such a strong draw for women's soccer in Colorado. Every time that there is a U.S. women's game here, we sell out, Dick's Sporting Good Park, which is where the Colorado Rapids play. We have a very, very active youth soccer community here, and it started as a grassroots advocacy group in Denver that wanted to bring a professional women's soccer team here to Colorado. And it was started during the last U.S. Women's National World Cup Tour. So I'm surprised it took so long for us to get our own, NWSL team, but it took now that we have it, it makes sense. I guess that when they were coming through and they said that they were going to do 2 more teams, they showed the commissioner of the NWSL boxes upon boxes upon boxes of letters from youth in Colorado that said, we want to have our own soccer team here. And they're like, well, it kind of is a no-brainer then. And it was one of 3 other finalists, with Cleveland and Cincinnati, to be one of the other 16th franchises for a team this year. And it makes sense to me. We just have such a strong, we're such an outdoorsy state. We love our sports here in Colorado. And I mean, for crying out loud, the Rockies are terrible, and we still go see Rockies games. So, I mean, we'll go watch sports just as long as we can get outside and be active.
Love that. Alyssa, you ever
Okay.
been to Denver? You ever spent time there?
I've been to the Denver airport once on
That's
my way to Florida.
the famous
So-
Denver airport.
I've heard it's horrible. I personally think the Atlanta airport is the worst airport in the world, but
Ooh,
everyone
good
tells me
yeah.
Denver, and so maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
There's some weird stuff I'm sure Kate knows about the Denver airport. It's got some like Illuminati things going on. We won't get into it here, but if you want to go down a rabbit hole, go YouTube that.
The Illuminati, what?
Just trust me.
It's not for real. There is
For real,
a lot
I'm
of
not
weird
making
stuff.
this up.
Illuminati podcast coming.
Yeah,
Yep.
go Google the Denver airport Illuminati, and you'll understand.
Without going too far down the rabbit hole, at the time of this recording, it is Lucifer's birthday, and Lucifer is the scary blue horse sculpture that is out front of our airport that killed the artist that made him. But yeah,
What?
so there's a giant scary blue horse with red eyes
This
that
is the tip of the
greets
iceberg,
visitors.
Alyssa.
Yeah, and today's its birthday. There's been stuff all over social media today, like today's
Oh my gosh.
Lucifer's birthday. Yeah,
Why
so
is Lucifer something I can Google? I
Yeah.
hate that. Oh,
So
he's made of fiber.
I told you it's a rabbit hole. You could get lost in it. People
you're
have written
welcome
books
for your
about
social
this.
media feed going forward. It's going to be a mess
people have
now.
written books about this. I'm telling you. How did the Denver Summit actually come about? Like, what were the ownership group? Do you know much about them, and what their motivations were?
Yeah, so the main owner is Rob Cohen, and he owns IMA. And I didn't really know too much about IMA or him. I just knew that IMA was a patch that the Colorado Avalanche wore on their jerseys. And so once I kind of started diving more into who Rob Cohen is, it made a lot of sense that he was really the controlling owner and the driving force behind this, because he's been to 15 Olympics. He's super active in the Denver sports area. He founded the Denver Sports Commission in, I want to say, the early 2000s. He's a big part of the Denver Olympic Committee and the Paralympic Foundation. So he's extremely active in the Colorado sports community. And I feel like this was his opportunity to stake his claim in a very crowded marketplace in Colorado. If you think about it, the Cronkies, so Stan Kroenke is the owner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche here. And then you have the Walter Penton ownership group, who now owns the Denver Broncos. And then you have the Momperts, who own the Rockies, and basically all of Lodo. The Momperts own all the real estate down there. So it was going to be impossible for them to really own anything. And I'm sorry, the Cronkies also own the Colorado Rapids, which is the men's soccer team. So there really wasn't any other professional sports teams up for grabs in the Denver area. And Denver is, right smack in the middle of the state. There's not really another major city in Colorado like in California or New York or anything like that, or Florida, where you could have multiple cities in one state to have multiple sports teams. So I feel like this was his opportunity to really stake his claim of a professional sports team in the state of Colorado. So he's the controlling owner. There's also a couple other majority owners. Peyton Manning is one of them. Michaela Schifrin, the Olympic skier. Everyone knows who Peyton Manning is. And then there's a couple key investors. But
he's
yeah,
Colorado royalty, Peyton Manning.
he is. Yeah, Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning makes sense too. He's got twins and a boy and a girl, and his son is a football player. And actually, I guess I just read that he goes to boarding school somewhere for football, or maybe it's baseball. I don't know that much, but I know that his daughter plays soccer. And so again,
He
it
said
makes
she
sense
needs a
for him
career.
to invest. Yeah, it makes sense for him to invest in supporting something in the local community, especially when he has family here.
And
That's
I know you
amazing.
also have Jordan Angeli as one of your owners. Is that correct? Right? Is
Yes,
face
we
of
do.
WOSO soccer, and I see her, all the time on NWSL media, and she's a commentator and does lots of stuff.
Yeah, and she was one of the main people behind the For Denver FC movement, which was the grassroots movement. So she's been huge for it. And spoiler, she's actually going to be coming on 5280 Pitch in the coming weeks to talk about what that was like. So there's a shameless plug to tune into my show in the coming weeks too, to hear about what that was like. But yeah.
I love that. We talked a little bit about the stadium. Alyssa, you want to ask more on that?
What's going on with the stadium?
What's not going on?
I like to. That's a fun way to start an update.
There's always a stadium situation, right? With a new team.
Why are stadiums so hard?
Yeah. So, well, we're going to be playing in 3
Just build me
stadiums
a stadium.
this first year. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be playing in 3 stadiums this first season. Which makes sense. We had nothing. And so Dick's Sporting Good Park is out by the airport, and the airport is not really close to anything. I mean, more's been built out there since.
It's not in Denver city limits, right? It's in a whole other place. I forgot what it's called, that area.
Yeah, they rezoned Denver so that it could be called Denver.
It's like Airport 40 minutes out. That's a long way out. Yeah,
it is. It is not close to Denver. So, but the Dick's Sporting Good Park is out there. And I remember when they built it, I was like, why did they build it all the way out there? Well, stuff has since been built over there, but it's not close. That is where the Denver Summit is going to be playing in March, April, and May. June, they don't play. They're off for the month of June. And then in July, their Centennial Stadium, which is down south, is going to be finished being built. And that is owned by Cherry Creek School District. And in the Colorado area, Cherry Creek Schools is one of the largest school districts. They have, their high school is ginormous, and they win a lot of state championships. So I guess the school district is going to take over that stadium once the Denver Summit are done with it, and it's going to be used for youth sports and everything. But that is where they're going to play until their new stadium is finished at Santa Fe Yards. So I'm a Denver native.
So much.
Been here my whole life. And I remember driving by this place they call Santa Fe Yards. It used to be the Gates Rubber Factory. And they tore it down, but they had to sit empty for a really long time because the ground was toxic because of all the contaminants in the soil.
Rubber.
Yeah, from all the rubber. So that was about, I want to say maybe 20 years ago. I'm old. And so
gorgeous.
So it's been sitting for a while now, but it's a really great spot. It's right in between downtown. It's next to the light rail station. There's it's a really great spot next to the river. once they start building there, it's going to be a prime location. But this first season, they play at Mile High where the Broncos play. They play there for their first game. Then they play at Dick's Sporting Good Park for the first couple months, and then they move down south to Centennial Stadium. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of navigate that.
Do you think that'll
uncertain.
impact attendance?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Denver.
Well,
that's
that
commitment, because that's all over town in your first season.
It's all over town, but there's been so many season tickets sold. There's been over 12,000 season tickets sold.
That's great.
So, I mean,
I'm super interested to see what happens, because also the World Cup is sort of messing with a lot of venues this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Olympics, like back to back. And then eventually, hopefully, the World Cup again. So I'm really I know Seattle is playing at Lumen and something in Spokane, and that's quite a distance for people who don't know Washington. It's not all Seattle. So it's really interesting to hear. It kind of is all Denver in Colorado. So sorry to the rest of Denver. I mean, the rest of Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's not like we're playing in Colorado Springs, which is an hour and a half away from.
Yeah, Spokane's like 5 hours from Lumen Field.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not. I'm being dramatic when I say Dick's Sporting Goods Park is far away. I mean, as the crow flies, it's really not that far. It's just there's. If you've ever been to Colorado, they didn't plan the city.
It's that one highway all the way out there.
We have like 2 highways for the entire city, and so traffic is terrible. And the highways are only 3 lanes in each direction, and so it's always rush hour, no matter what time of day. So
I just drove on a freeway that had 7 lanes.
Yeah,
I know. Like that's why.
Blame the Californians. That's what we should do. Just blame the Californians. They're just coming out and ruining our states.
Yeah.
My family, I have that family that lives in Michigan, and I go there and I'm like, God, you guys, I feel like I'm driving in a race car. Like everyone's going so fast, and I'm just not used to it because I'm on the highway going 45 because
bumper
of
to
traffic.
bumper.
And the snow.
Backwards, uphill, both ways.
Just don't come drive in Florida, because it's the Wild West out here. I tell you, nobody knows.
I would also not recommend driving in Southern California.
Yeah.
Uber, just Uber. Not sponsored. That's the second Uber mentioned.
So stadiums, you're going to have, of that first game, you've got Mile High. It sold 40,000, right? That's the last time I saw it.
Break the record.
Has that gone up since then? Have they announced more than 40,000?
Well, as of February 3rd, they said that they had sold over 40,000. At the time of this recording, they haven't given another update, but I mean, I'm sure people have still bought tickets. They just did their media day, and there was a ton of media going on about, the Denver Summit. So I'm sure tickets have been sold since then. I've been seeing a ton of ads in my Facebook feed with Peyton Manning talking, about how they're going to break the record. So I'm sure that this is they're going to announce that they broke the record, probably very, very close to when they do the uniform reveal.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do some sort of big announcement.
What is the record and who holds it? I don't even know.
AFC with Washington Spirit. So Trinity Rodman is just always with the big records. But it was BAFC, and the record was 40,091. So
was the game they did at the baseball stadium, was that the one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
I think you guys could do it. I think you're probably going to do it if you're already at 40 that far away from the game. And also, it's distributed tickets. So, if they're close, they'll just give another 20,000 tickets out or something. Who knows?
Well, I saw stuff in my feed since we're so close, we just hit 40,000. Get your $40 tickets.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. That first game, it's just even if at the end they're giving them away, or $5 tickets to kids and stuff like that, just get people in that building, because it's that first game it's a moment, and it's there, and then it's gone, and it'll never happen again.
For real. Well,
Very
my dad
exciting.
and I mean, my dad and I, when I was little, he and I flew out to New York to go watch the very first Rockies game. They played the Mets. And so like, that was cool. Like that was a memory that I had. I saw the very first Rockies game that was ever played. So, yeah, I mean, what a memory of seeing the very first professional. Well, I guess we had the professional women's basketball team, but it folded in 98. So, I mean, for a lot of young girls, this is the very first professional women's sports team in Colorado.
That's huge.
So exciting.
Let's talk about the colors and the brand and the logo. Alyssa, I know you and I have discussed that we feel like they've nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, the green kind
of
of kills. Though I see John wearing an Orlando shirt.
I'm
that is
wearing my
exactly
Orlando
the
Pride
same colors
green
as...
and orange to be repping Denver. There you go.
That looks like yellow. It looks like the gold on her hat. So
It does.
I wore
it
black because I'm San Diego through and through.
I even got my green lights on behind me and everything. Yeah.
You got your U.S. Women's National Team shirt on. I see all those stars.
I know. See, yeah, I'm ready for this recording tonight. So yeah,
I love it.
Well, it's funny. the green, you guys. I don't know if you know this. It's when I tell you this, you might laugh at us.
All right.
Do you know why we have the green?
Is this like the pine, like, evergreen color? No, is that not what I thought? Assumed it was
would
like
make a whole lot more sense.
mountain tree green. No,
it's not.
Okay,
that would make a whole lot more sense. Can we stick with that? But it's not the real answer.
Did they release like the whole description of the branding and the logo, and they told you what the green is and why? Is that what you're going to tell us?
Yes, and it's the same for the Rockies with our like city vibe, the Rockies city vibe uniforms that they have, the Colorado Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
So the green mount is for the iconic colors from the Colorado license plates. So our license plates are white
with the green
mountains.
That's random.
They should just go with it.
My idea was way better.
Yeah, for sure. Hire John. That makes much more sense. You guys have trees.
That's why I was saying, can we just stick with what you guys said? But yeah.
The license plate, it was what? Also, in my mind, it was blue and white. Like, if you were like, what color is the Colorado license plate? Sky.
Nope, it's green. It's green. With mountains. Yeah. So it was green mountains with the white background, and then they switched it because it was easier to see. So then so you'll see the license plates driving around with green and white mountains, but that is why. It's because of the license plate.
And that's a standard license plate for Colorado people?
Sure is, yep.
It's not very exciting, a license plate either, I gotta say. It's pretty like, my dad lived in Steamboat for a long time, so I spent a lot of time in Colorado. I go see him up in the mountains north of Denver, and it was, I mean, I know the license plate, but it's not that exciting, so I think it's crazy.
It's not.
But I do think you guys nailed it with the badge and the vibe, and I think it's beautiful. Honestly, I think it defines what Denver is, but also it's a really good looking logo.
Yeah, I think it's cool. And well, there's like little subtleties in it too, like the mountains, like the angles of the mountains are at 26 degrees because for the inaugural year, 2026.
2026.
Yeah. So I mean, like there's just like little things where if you know, you know. So it's the yellow is for the Colorado sunsets, the
orange is for the license plate.
the greens for the license plate. Yeah,
that's sending me. If you guys don't have license plate merch, that's such a huge miss.
I know, right? I know it is a huge miss. I keep waiting for them to like put something out that
like
makes
a
it look like a license plate. That's what I should just make.
That says like some 26.
I made some fun merch for the podcast. I should just make some that looks like a a license plate.
Yeah, lean into it. That's how you make the money. That's how you make the money.
5% idea fee.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. And then the 5280 that's for Denver's elevation. We really lean into it here and try to get into people's heads, especially our opponents' heads of
that you're high up.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is a
like
factor.
teams
It
for
is the
sure.
altitude.
Yeah.
It is.
well, and like if you go to any game, any Broncos game or Rapids game, they on the big screen, they'll like once the opponents come out, they'll be like, warning, warning, altitude alert, and just like to kind of get into people's heads of like, you are 1 mile above sea level, the air is thinner here. But
That's
we
so
really
funny.
lean into it here.
Look,
That's funny.
I'm a wimpy Floridian who lives at sea level, so when I go up there, I gotta like have my little oxygen pump, but I'm there like, oh, I'm low on oxygen.
It takes
I'm telling you, you get
It's
up
true.
there and you don't have it. It's
And you got to be careful if
it's
you
a
drink
thing.
alcohol
You get
here.
altitude
Yeah,
sickness real easy. Yeah, like I
Gosh,
know a lot of teams
guys, be
adjust
careful
before
going
they
to
go.
Denver. So
Yeah.
scary. Do you think the kit is going to be the green, the license plate color, with like the gold accents, or do you think it'll be something different? Because is there still that rule? Was when San Diego was an expansion team 5 years ago, but the like first 2 years of your kit is kind of like it's gonna suck, and then your third year you get like a really fun one. I was told that was a rule, and I believed them, but again, I'm pretty gullible. So, is that still a rule? And do you think your opening kit's gonna be like, meh? Ours was white with a blue armpit. So
I think that it's going to be awesome. Maybe I'm, well, because my kids play soccer here. And I know what the youth jerseys look like, and they're really cool. Like they incorporate the Colorado Sea. So we really like our Colorado flag here. It's a sea with like a little like circle in it. So I could see them doing something like that, where maybe it's the dark green and then like a darker outline of the Colorado Sea. Or maybe even like an outline of the summit, like the summit logo with the mountains. But I definitely see it being like a dark green. And then for the other, like for the away jerseys, I would like to see it almost of like a splattering of all of the other colors, almost like a sunset.
well,
spackle
easy
kind
coming
of.
for the sunset.
Yeah. Well,
Watch it.
but that's what they did a lot of that with the jersey with the logo. Tried to get like that blue and the orange, and
It is a gorgeous logo. I would say second to San Diego.
my daughter has a Alex Morgan San Diego Wave jersey that she wears.
Come on, look at her. She's gorgeous.
Oh, I know. It's awful pretty.
Yeah. And I think, I feel like Denver sort of is like our sister logo. Honestly.
I can see that.
It just feels like the same sort of like Gotham is very right. They did the like all matte black kit, and it very is like it feels very European. It feels very like Barca to me, where they're like, yeah, we play soccer, we play football. Whereas like I feel like San Diego and Denver are like, yeah, whatever, we play soccer, but we're also cool.
California.
We're outdoorsy.
Yeah, we like. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you guys have a livable outdoor space? We do. I don't know. It's just when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, I really like that crest."
I do like it a lot. I think dark green makes a lot of sense for the home kit, and then away you got to go light with it, right? It's got to be probably a lighter. Maybe they play with that kind of orangey yellow color, like you were saying. But I think you guys could own like dark green, like that could be your color. I mean, it's good to kind of own a color in NWSL and kind of be recognized for that. I know Orlando Pride is the purple team, right? You've got like Louisville's the lavender team. You've got Houston as the
they tried to do your green
team.
though. Racing Louisville did a green kit, a deep.
I remember that. Yeah,
it was really gorgeous, to be honest. And I was like, "That's so stunning. Where did that come from? Why is Racing Louisville not purple? Why are they not lavender? I'm so confused."
Well,
we're the. I'd say we're the blue pink sunset team.
I'll say they showed the players the kit, so
they've seen it.
They've seen it.
Have you seen any training tops or anything? No merch
Even
for this
Well,
club
just
apart from that logo
just
shirt.
we've seen just a couple, but I mean nothing like exciting. It's just basically I want to say a Nike, dry fit with the logo on it is what we
Yeah, that's
saw.
the standard club tee they'll do for everybody
Mhm.
before they reveal
Yeah.
like the theme stuff for the jersey. But I'm
Yeah,
sure there'll be
seeing
hats and scarves and all that from Nike in no time.
even their training shorts. I'm looking through their Instagram right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a white
Mhm.
with the logo.
Yep.
I could see you going white for that second kit. I could see it if
Yeah.
they go dark green. All right, let's talk about what's happening on the pitch. We've talked about the stadium and the colors and the logo and the owners. Who is running this thing? Who is in the front office, and who have you brought in coaching wise? I mean, I know the answer, but you tell us, Kate.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, you're
it's
gonna be interested.
uh,
Oh.
yes. Well, we just announced the full coaching staff just a couple days ago. So Nick Cushing is the head coach. Been, coaching for a while now. I want to say over 10 or 15 years.
Long time
He's
MLS guy.
Yeah, he's from Manchester City. He's when we s- s- I mean we had him before we had any players. So that was really exciting to be like, and then I think that that's what kind of showed me that okay, we're we're an expansion team, but we are building to compete. Does that make sense? We're not going. I'm a big hockey fan also, and so we're going in with the mindset of like being an expansion team like the Golden Knights. We're not going in with an expansion team of being like
Yeah.
the Seattle Kraken.
It's happened in leagues. Like teams have entered the league and immediately won. It's been
Yeah,
done. It can be
yeah.
done.
And when we signed, our the coach, and then we signed Allie, and then I mean, like the signings that we had, I was like, they're building a very experienced team and a very deliberate team, based off of very specific roles. So it's been really interesting to see how they've built out this team. I'm honestly, I don't know how much of a hand, Nick has had with selecting each player, like with like, okay, I really want to have Carson Pickett. I love that she's more of an attacking defender or what. But he's he was he was in at the beginning, and he's one of the most respected coaches in women's soccer. So we have him. He's coached some of the top names in the league, like Carly Lloyd, and so that's pretty cool. And then we just signed Angela Salem and Karen Bardsley as the goalkeeper coach, James Mitchell, Alan Mann. So we've got a lot of experience, a lot of players, a lot of coaches from Europe, which makes sense. We always had to bring over the Europeans to help us Americans because it's not our first sport, I guess. So yeah. It's funny. I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago, and I said it's interesting because I believe, and you guys agree or disagree. I feel that our country best athletes, and men's best athletes play football, and then I believe that our country's best female athletes play soccer.
Probably. Or basketball,
Just
maybe
the
on the men's side,
WNBA.
but definitely on the female side. I mean, yeah.
Those are my ladies. A lot of them
But I
leave
mean,
soccer actually to play
like you think
basketball.
about it, like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of players where like you look at, and I know we're going off the rails here, but like look at Kyler Murray. He could have played baseball or football, and he ended up going to play football. And same with Matthew Stafford, and a lot of these, Antonio Gates. he played basketball all the way through, and then he ended up going to play football. They switched him after college. They take some of these, like, oh, he's a wonderful athlete. Let's go ahead and take him and have him play football. Whereas I played collegiate softball, and we had a phenomenal third baseman. And our women's soccer team wanted her to play goalie because she had such fast reflexes. They wanted her to come and play goalie and she's like, I've never even played soccer. But they wanted her to come and train her because her natural reflexes were so fast. So, I mean, I don't know. That's
Did she do
just a side note. She did not, because she was our starting third baseman, and it was the same season. But I'm just saying, like,
Oh, you're right.
it's interesting to me because in the
A lot of
rest of the
sports
world,
coaching. Yeah.
in the rest of the world, the best athletes for men play
They're playing-
soccer.
Yeah, soccer.
It's the dominant sport. I mean, that's especially when you talk about, the female athletes here professionally. Most of the examples they have are in, professional women's soccer players, professional, women's tennis players, now getting into basketball. But for a long time, the professional women's soccer, the U.S. women's national team players were, held up above. And now a lot of young female, like, aspiring professionals can see that, and they want to follow that route. And they look at soccer as a really good way, as one of the best sports to become a female professional athlete in.
And you see all those photos of, like, now Soph Wilson, right? Like meeting Abby Wambach, or meeting, like them meeting their predecessors and then becoming the next wave of stars. I also wonder how much of that is, like, one, due to the World Cup wins and just like the money that is funneled into winning the U.S. men's national team. They'd never know.
They suck.
And they're my op. I cannot stand them.
Yeah, U.S.
Changed
women's
my mind.
national team is a dynasty.
Christian
It's the best in the
Pulisic.
world.
Exactly. And there is the infrastructure, and they fought for it. And in terms of like a team women's sport, yeah, I would say a lot of it's also they have bigger rosters than the W, right? So like if you look at how many people are sitting on the bench of the WNBA, which is I think one of my biggest complaints, hire more women, put them on the bench. It doesn't matter. Get them that experience so they can play elsewhere. And it shouldn't just be expansion teams. But yeah, I think it's exciting to, like, they hired Ali Watt. I forgot what her married name is.
Brazier.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's so exciting that they saw her story, and then her success at Orlando. I'm sorry, John. And then just were like, yeah, this is where we want to start. This is the sort of player we want to build off of. And Midge, first, please bring back the off-season show because I loved it so much. And Ali Watt was one of the players who was on it, and just getting to know her, or like Nikki Stanton, such a fan, fellow neurodivergent person, just like really, I think getting to know them and knowing like the thing that hits with Lindsay Heaps, right, is this is her hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think San Diego had a similar thing with Alex Morgan. Again, sorry, John. Just everyone leaving Orlando. And I think there is something special about having a player from your area and being able to capitalize on that and showing them like, this is a pathway forward for you. If I'm Peyton Manning's daughter, I'm kicking and screaming, because like, what a legacy to start and to be at the ground floor building.
What do you think about that, Kate? Was it, Ali Watt? I can't not call her Ali Watt. Ali Fraser. To start, what were your thoughts with that being the first player?
I mean, that was awesome. I was pumped because she's so fast, and she's still young. I think her being the very first signing was cool because it was hometown talent. She's from Colorado Springs. She's won an NWSL Shield. She's won a championship with the Pride.
She was baller that year. She was killed, like that run
was
in the playoffs.
amazing.
She was awesome.
I thought her eyelashes were gonna make her fly. I was like, she's gonna
she is just an incredible person. Like, she is explosive on the pitch and an explosive personality off the pitch. Like, everybody wants to be friends and hang out with Allie because she's just awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's got pizzazz.
I think that it was a really smart first signing because, I mean, no offense, but I mean, like, it wasn't like a, like, oh, well, we signed a great,
It was a
defender.
mid-roster acquisition.
Yeah, like
we're fine with that.
She's gonna score, she's gonna sell jerseys.
She's not a guaranteed starter. It's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's young, she's in her prime. I think that she's from here. She checked literally every single box for being an exciting first player to sign. So I was pumped. I was hoping that she would take. I don't know why she would, because she's not a goalie. But I thought it'd be really cool if she took number 1. But
yeah. I like that
always
idea.
take a number
I
1.
know goalies always take number 1, but I just because she was the first signing. Like, how cool! I don't know.
Nothing makes me more mad when I see like a center back wearing like number 9 or something. I'm like, oh my god, get this guy off the field.
Is there no tradition anymore?
I mean, come on. Alyssa mentioned there the big one, Lindsay Heaps.
Mm-hmm.
Heaps and heaps.
I know, how excited! It's so funny. So I've got 2 girls. They're 8 and 11, and we when we found out that we were getting, a professional team, my 11-year-old said to me, she goes, "Do you think that we'll get, Lindsay Heaps?" And I said, "No, there's no way. The money's not here.
I didn't think she was gonna go."
Yeah, I was like, the money's not here.
Mom,
She's too
you had
good.
No faith. Come on.
I had zero faith. Like, none. I mean, she came to the U.S. Women's National game when they played here in Denver back, when was it? Back in October or whatever, and just to sign autographs. But I was like, there's no way that she will play here. And my daughter actually plays for Colorado Rush, which is the same club that Lindsay played for. And so she's always been a big Lindsay Heaps fan. And so I was like, there's no way. So when we signed her, I went to the school and I was like, I have to have Evie come out of class really fast. I have to talk to her. I pulled her out from class to tell her.
Everyone's thinking someone died. No, Lindsay Heaps is here.
I was like, you're never going to believe it. Lindsay Heaps is coming to the summit. And she's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, the Denver Summit signed her. That's all I wanted to tell you. Okay, go back to class. I mean,
she's probably like sobbing, weeping, crying. So
ordered all the merch. Yeah.
Did she say, "Mom, I told you so," and like, you should listen to me more often?
Yeah. She's like, I told you she would come here. And it's actually pretty cute. My daughter has a podcast as well.
Cute.
And
that's adorable.
This
is what it's all about. It's about this next generation of fans. Like,
it is,
and we talked about Alex Morgan, but it's crazy because she was like the star Lindsay Heap player for both my team and then Alyssa's team. So we saw firsthand what happens, when you have this player and the effect on the community and all these young female athletes that are just, in awe of how amazing they are.
Like, I don't know if you have the opportunity to watch, it's on YouTube, of her surprising her parents and telling them that she really had signed with the Heaps, with the Summit. It was so cool. Like, I got a little emotional. So it's really exciting to have her back in Colorado. I think that's for me when I realized, like, okay, we have a phenomenal coach. We have a really solid, attacker. We have a solid back line. Now we've got some strong leadership and, steadiness throughout the midfield. They're not building a team just to, fill out a roster. They're building a team to compete for a championship. So it's really exciting to see what's going to be happening for the Summit this year.
It is exciting. And Alyssa's back. We lost her for a bit, but she's back. Blame the internet gods.
Yeah, blame the internet gods.
The other player that I want to ask you about, and you mentioned her already, of course, is Carson Pickett, because she is. We've talked about symbols of examples for the next generation. I think Carson Pickett is just such a wonderful person, and also a really good left back. Like, she's still pretty good as a left back in this league. So what are your thoughts on picking her up?
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She does a lot of so she was born with a limb difference, so she's born without the left hand, and so and forearm. But honestly, like, I follow her on social media and really can't even, like, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like, kind of forget. And she does advocate a lot. So she wants to go to every stadium that she plays in. She wants to meet someone there that also has a limb difference. And so it's really cool that she's trying to make a difference for people that are born with this, what a lot of people would see as a disability. She's not. She's trying to go out and make these introductions, and she's still phenomenal. She's going to be with us for a couple years. I think that she signed either a 2 or a 3-year contract, but she's one of the best attacking defenders in the league. So having her being able to push the ball up from the left side is going to be huge for us. And especially Lindsay Heaps isn't going to be with us at the beginning of the season. She's not going to be with us until July, I don't think. So having some veteran leadership with players like Kaylee Kurtz and Carson Pickett, where they both have some, national caps under their belt, I think that's going to be phenomenal for leadership and, really having some sort of veteran presence in the locker room while, Heaps is still playing over in Paris. So, yeah.
Before I disappeared, I was going to say, what about Ayo? Ayo, okay.
I know. How exciting is that?
Ayo,
yeah.
Every time I'm sure what a name. What an Ayo, okay.
Her
I just in my head.
In her first cap game, it's gorgeous to watch.
She's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited. I actually just recorded an entire episode about our back line, and we have a lot of veterans on our back line, but we have, that's coming in, and she's 22, but she's coming from playing, U.S. Women's Youth International, and I think that she'll be a lot of fun to watch. I think that it'll be interesting to see who ends up being a starter on this team. I think that there's going to be a lot of position battles that we didn't expect. And I think that especially since Ayo made the U.S. women's national team just recently and scored and played phenomenal, like, I think that people might underestimate her a little bit.
That's good that you have
blew her surprise at the U.S. national team game. People are like, wait a second, where is she playing? Oh, Denver.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say it's good that you have a feeling of like strong depth already in your roster, and you feel like there's competition for places, because I don't know, sometimes with an expansion franchise you can kind of already see what that starting 11 is going to be, and like, okay, this is our best players because they put all the eggs in that first 11 basket. Do you feel like pretty confident in the build out, or do you feel that you still need quite a few players?
I felt like we were pretty, like, I knew, okay, well, this is who's going to be playing, that, like, Abby Smith is our starting keeper. But then we signed Jordan Knights, who played at CU, and I think she's going to give her competition. Not to say that Abby Smith is not going to be the starter, but Jordan Knights is a very good defender, or a very good goalkeeper too. So, I mean, we keep making these signings that I think there's nothing to really sneeze at. We keep getting one more player that I'm like, I didn't even really think about that type of role and how they're going to fit in. We're going to have a lot of room to play with different players as the season goes on. There's a couple games in August that we have short rest weeks, like 3 games, or 3 days off and then a game, and then 5 days off and then a game. So it'll be really interesting to see what, Cushing does with the roster and who ends up starting, who ends up sitting. We play Utah, and then San Diego, I think, which are 2 very different types of games.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of how, and they're back to back. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what roster we end up putting on the field for, a close back to back game in that matchup. So
We also have Coachella coming up this weekend.
That's this weekend. I know.
You're going to play San Diego.
I know it. I think on Sunday, right? Is it Sunday or on Tuesday that we play you?
Mm-hmm. The 15th. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to
that's going to be
your
exciting.
First law.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna have to lose one eventually, but I mean, I'm just excited to see what the starting 11 is.
I think that's what makes Coachella exciting. Is that I really think it should be an expansion team tournament, but whatever. But like, I think it's fun because it's like a little preview, like a month before everything really kicks off. I'm sure for the players, it's, as important to them as the season starting, but it is a really fun preview, right? For Denver, especially, to be like, what are they working with? What's been gelling so far? What's kind of like at least a March, April preview of what we might see on the pitch. And then, like later on, there's the Sevens tournament, which should have been a hint to like San Diego fans, like, oh, Didi Hadjic is going to take that lead. We had no idea. And so I'm interested to see if there's any like nuggets and like winks that they're going to give us from Coachella, because it'll be the first time anyone's seen Denver play.
Yeah. Outside of like just the short, Instagram reels.
Yeah.
That we saw.
Where I'm like, great, everyone knows how to dribble a ball. Perfect.
Yeah. Look at him dribble and shoot. Woohoo.
Look,
minimum requirement.
At least y'all's teams are in that tournament, and you know what they're doing for preseason. Orlando Pride didn't even announce their preseason like at all. Like, I don't even know what games they're playing in. Anything. We got nothing.
You guys lost Haley. I think you're reeling from losing Haley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Seb Hines likes sharing anything in preseason. He's like old school
think he's a secretive guy
coach who doesn't want anybody to know anything in preseason. So when I see like Coachella happening and preseason tournaments, I'm jealous. I'm like, I want to see my team in a preseason tournament. That looks really fun.
Yeah, it's also.
And you're gonna get an idea of this formation, maybe, right, Kate?
Probably. I mean, based off of what Cushing's done in the past, I would imagine a 4-3-3. I mean,
would Lindsay kind of box the box running the whole thing when she gets here?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's hard because she's not here until July.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
and then she has to get fit for working in Denver, right? Like, she's going from France to. There is going to be an adjustment period of getting her fitness level up to a mile above sea level.
Well, and this team has been playing since and gelling, and they're doing all these team bonding things and really forming for the past since, I guess I'll just say since February.
Yeah.
But they'll have 5 months of gelling, and it's not to say that Lindsay Heaps is going to throw everything off, but how will her coming in really shift the formations? Is she going, like, whose spot is she going to take? Like,
is she going to be captain?
Yeah. I mean,
I would expect.
Lots of questions.
I would expect that too. Yeah.
But mid-season coming can be really hard on morale, right? Like, you also know, like, I always think with big signings that the character of the player really will come through, right? Like Alex Morgan being Alex Morgan. When she came to San Diego, it was very much about like teamwork, leadership, her taking Jaden Shaw under her wing. And that relationship was really like crucial for Jaden Shaw in terms of like how they marketed it. I'm assuming Jane Shaw would also, like, she's very close to Alex Morgan. The same with, like, Kaylin Sheridan was very much in that, like, fostering mentality, and you could see that in other teams. And so I hope Lindsay Heaps comes in with the experience of being captain for the national team and knowing kind of how to set the precedent for her big arrival, because that's like a cannonball, right? Like, you're jumping into the pool, you're making a big splash, and it could go really well for your team if she is willing to put in the work, if the other players are willing to put in the work. But it also, not to, you know, be a negative Nancy, but it also could be a really hard adjustment period, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you are a midfielder, right? Like, I know I would be anxious. Like, Sam Ewis always talks about how she never felt good enough, which is, again, wild because she's Sam Ewis. But, you know, like, if there are players with that sort of, like, self-perception, I hope for them that they have a sports psychologist on staff so that these players can kind of work through the feelings of a big star. You know, that's who Lindsay Heaps is a huge star, a U.S. women's national team, you know, veteran, two-time World Cup winner. Like, that's a lot. You know, I mean, I would feel the same as, like, the first day Marta came in. If Marta came in mid-season, I'd be like, you know, like, if you're playing the same roles that they are, you're sort of like, well, now I have to compete with, you know, one of the greatest of all time. Or the preconceived notion of who Lindsay Heaps is. If you've never met her, you've never worked with her, you know, you're sort of relying on celebrity. So I think that is going to be a big midseason challenge for them. But I'm also excited. I hope that it just goes smoothly in terms of everyone's psychology. This sport is already hard enough on the players. It's already so difficult, I think, to like, you know, now that we have consensual trading and stuff, but, like, you know, there's a lot of trauma around sports that people forget because it's entertaining and it's beautiful and we love to support it. But, like, Denver, I know you're listening. Hey, get a good sports psychologist for your players, please. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kate.
It's got to be exciting.
Valuable.
It's got to be exciting. I feel like, though. I mean, first season, first game, all of this, you know, what are you feeling, Kate, about the inaugural season? Are you ready? Have you ever been, you know, I mean, we talked before about new first games, but this will be a first, right? First.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, like I said earlier, we're Denver, Colorado, we're an outdoor state. You know, we're big sports fans. The fact that we sold 40,000 tickets already for the season opener, you know, that's huge. And I'm sure we're going to break the NWSL attendance record. I'm sure of it. I think it's going to be, it's coming.
It's an NFL stadium and you can pack it. I mean, why not?
Yeah. And it's so funny because there's still those, you know, the negative Nancy's that whenever there's a post on, you know, like the news station talking about the Denver Summit and like, why does this women's sports team, in quotations, need their own stadium? You know, when there's plenty of, like, who's gonna go there? And I'm like, we've already sold over 15,000 season tickets. Like, that's an NWSL record for an expansion team. Like, come out from under your rock. Everybody watches women's sports. I don't know who you think you are, but people watch women's sports now. Yeah, we're watching.
So we'll be there.
So I mean, yeah. So it's like we've got supporter clubs. We show out in numbers when the U.S. women's national team comes. We've got, you know, very active social media communities. I have my podcast, and honestly, again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Like, it surprised me how many people are already listening and to the show. I'm like, oh, you know what? It'd be kind of fun to do this. Let me just see what I can throw together. It's been a lot of fun to do, and people are excited about it. And the star power, Lindsay Heaps being here, that's huge because that's a recognizable name. She's a local celebrity. People were excited about her just being on the U.S. Women's National Team. The fact that she's playing here, that's huge. We have Allie. She's a local name. We have actually a couple players from Colorado on the team. And I think that we have a great coach, that's won championships.
Who's coached
you know,
women before.
We have Peyton Manning and Michaela Schifrin as part of the ownership team. Those are popular names here in Colorado. We're going to build their own stadium. We're not just going to use one of the men's stadiums or, play at one of the high school stadiums. Like, we're going all in. Like, they're really trying to do everything the right way and say this is a legitimate team with legitimate ownership that we want to have a huge fan base for and build the right way. So, and I mean, the Nuggets won the, NBA championship just a couple years ago. The Avs just won a couple years ago. The Broncos went to the AFC championship this year. We're a big sports town.
You're
We
hungry
like
for a
winning.
win.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You also, I like could think you work for the team. Like, you're so passionate about it and like have it ready to go. I'm like, yeah, well, obviously Denver's gonna end up, they're a force to be reckoned with. And then I'm like, wait a sec.
Alyssa's very easily convinced. This is what I've
Yeah,
learned
we've
about
learned
her.
that I'm
She's like, we
easily
can flip
swayed.
flop Alyssa easily. She's,
Yeah, I was in Boston last week.
I'll send
sucker
you
for a
out
sales
some Summit
pitch.
gear with our cool license plate logo.
Yeah, give me that license plate.
Last week it was all Boston. Now this week it's all Denver. So
And the week before that, I
she'll
was like,
figure it
yeah,
out.
boo Boston. I'm a fair weather fan for other teams. Okay. I've said this before. My wife said I'm not allowed to like any other team. So when I'm in my cocoon, right, when I'm in my safe little space, I can be like, I love them all. I also just love, I love the league. I love women's sports. So like the fact that there are so many, right? Like, we're going to get Atlanta soon. That's exciting. We have 2 expansion teams this year. It's so exciting for like the work that people are getting, the opportunities, the media chances, right? Like these huge $1 million transfers to Kansas City and out of Kansas City. Like, I don't know. It feels like we're at a real turning point for women's sports. The WNBA is currently negotiating their CBA, and all players' unions, I'll speak specifically for women's sports, are stronger together. And so seeing these unions support each other, seeing them not accept, right? Like Boston came out with Boss Nation, too many balls. And the community said, no, we do not accept. It's transphobic. It's small-minded. It's also bad. So we don't like it. And we're going to give you a chance to cancel that and try something better. And they did, right? Like, and so it's so amazing because I feel like in most other sport avenues, fans and lovers of their leagues are just not valued as much. And obviously I can argue about the commissioner valuing fan input and like supporter group input, but I really feel like, I don't know, it's just so exciting. I love women's sports. I love everyone getting stadiums. I love it. I like, yeah, build them more. Tear down men's stadiums. I don't even care. Give them to us.
We got 16 teams, which is really exciting, and I think it's going to be a monumental year. I want to say on what you said before, Kate, about people are going to say things online and all that. Just ignore that. It doesn't matter. I would say it's awesome that you started your own podcasting. That's great. You got the bug now, so this is how it goes. And trust me, you won't stop. And I think as you get really close to that game, what you'll see is just people that have no interest in women's soccer at all will just want to come because it's a thing in town, and everyone's like, "Hey, what is this? It's a brand new team. I want to go to that first ever game." So I wouldn't be surprised if you end up like, what is the capacity of Mile High? I reckon you could get pretty close.
16?
I think it's close to, I want to say 52 or 53,000
I wouldn't
maybe.
be shocked if you guys sell that out. Like, I think
Wrigley
it's
Stadium
achievable.
shaking in her boots.
And that would be massive for the league, massive for, everything. And the last thing I want to say is you talked about how they've done everything right. And me and Alyssa said the exact same thing the other week, that we feel like Denver has, Boston has corrected their course, but there was a slip up there. And Denver has just nailed it every step of the way.
Just
I think you
coasted
guys have,
through.
like we said, the logo and the player signings and just the whole vibe we're getting from you is that they're doing it right. So it's great to hear that internally you guys feel that way as well.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to kind of do the side by side comparison with how Boston's been going and us, because it was hard not to get a little nervous, because it was like, we've got like 4 players and they have 11.
If
Are
we
we gonna
play
be able
them
to?
right now, we're losing.
We don't have enough to field a team. But then once all of the signings started happening, it really became clear that everything was being done very, very, very intentionally, and they weren't trying to just. It was a very long-term vision. Everything that this club's been doing, I feel, has been intentionally done. What's the end goal? Okay, so if we have this player, what kind of player do we need to help them be successful on the other side? And so everything was very strategically played out. So I'm excited. I think that I think it'll be a great season. I think that we have I think we have a good chance of making the playoffs.
Do you?
I do. I do think so. I think that
You
we
think you
have
guys are
a
going to get one of
championship.
them 8 spots? Okay.
I think that we have a championship core. Kurtz, Pickett. We got.
They won it. There's players that have won
They
it.
have.
Yeah.
We've
Heaps won
got.
it.
We got Brazier, and then we'll have Heaps. We got solid goaltending, and we got a phenomenal coach. So, and I mean, the fact that we got Heaps coming in the second half, so
You
I mean,
can
it's not like
you can make anything happen in the second half of
exactly.
the NWSL season too.
Yeah.
I think
As long as you're in the mix.
What's your
and then you
final number
peak at
then?
the
Where do you
end.
think you guys are going to land? First season, inaugural, finals. Where are you going? Give me the number 1 through 16.
I think that we make the playoffs as the 6th seed.
6
Okay.
is
And you
that's a
lose to number
really
2.
good season.
It's a good season. I think
That for your first season, that's very good.
the
Wave
first half
got
is going to
third
be hard.
their first
I think
season.
that the first half is going to be hard. I feel like it's going to be more like 500. The first half, like March through June, will be 500 because we have a ton of games on the road in the first half. And then once Heaps comes and we have a lot more games at home, and we're playing in the heat and at altitude, we are going to do much better in the second half. And I feel like we're going to be like 8-2. I think that the altitude advantage is for real. And it's the second half once Heaps comes. It's not like, oh, she's the savior, but I think that a lot of it
That's
is
like
going
a
to be,
spark.
we found it's going to be a spark. We're going to be at Centennial Stadium. We're not going to be traveling all over the state and all over the country. We're going to have gelled. We'll have June to, find our formations and really center. Heaps comes. We'll play at altitude, mostly at home. I think that that's where we really kind of start getting our footing and take it into the playoffs.
I think
I like
playoffs
that.
would be a good thing to go for.
You said that with such conviction too that I'm like, I don't know. Do I believe it? I kind of believe it. So, like John said, very swayable.
You can place your BetMGM bets now. That's fine. I won't judge you.
I love it. Is there anything else about Denver Summit that we haven't asked you or talked about today? Is there something that we should know?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Bring your
I
oxygen.
think that, yeah, other than oxygen. No, I think that we're going to be much bigger fans for the Denver Summit than we are for the Rapids.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I think that people are going to be really excited, and they're going to show out for the ladies this year. And I think that there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm around this team this year. I think there should be. I think that it's been a long time coming for this state, for this city, for the soccer community here. Like, we've got how many women play on the U.S. women's national team that are from Colorado? Like, we have a very strong, female pipeline of soccer players here, and the girls here believe that they could make that team, one day, because as they should, and it's gonna, like, we love women's soccer here, and so I think that it's gonna show out at the games. And a lot of people say that Seattle is a hard place, Portland is a hard place to play. I think it's going to be really hard here in Colorado with the fans and the altitude. I think it's just going to be hard at the beginning when we don't really have a home. Going between Mile High and Dick's Sporting Goods Park, at the beginning, I think that'll be kind of tricky for the team. But
also, so many innuendos with both those names.
I know.
Can we not?
I know. Well,
I get it, but can we not? Like, who approved Dick's Sporting Goods?
Probably Dick's Sporting Goods.
Probably Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
He went, oh, this is so funny.
Kate, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast and telling us all about Denver Summit. I feel like I had a fairly good grasp, but I really enjoyed talking to people who are local with boots on the ground, and you've been there from day one. Tell everybody again where they can, listen to you and watch your stuff.
Yeah, so check us out at 5280pitch.com. On all of the podcast players, YouTube. You can kind of choose your own adventure from there. 5280pitch.com is the place to go.
I love it. So that is our deep dive.
Yeah, you can buy my merch. Yeah.
We love a merch. We love a hat. I like that hat. That is our Denver deep dive. We have now done both of the expansion clubs, so I feel very prepared for the NWSL season. Me and Alyssa will be back next week as we get back into the news. We're going to talk about Coachella, so we're going to probably review this Denver Summit Wave game that's coming up on Sunday, and talk about Bay FC and Chicago Stars are the only other teams that we haven't talked about yet on the podcast as we get closer to the NWSL season. So cannot wait to get into the weeds as we, that first game, it's not far away. So thank you everybody for listening. And of course, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.